In this video, we're going to be looking at online content, specifically starting with places that you can access digital scores, of course, outside of our UCO library catalog, as well as audio sources, video sources, and a few library catalogs available to you in digital form. So let's start with score options. We have the Eastman School of Music, a great institution. The Sibley Music Library is an incredible resource, and they have made all scores and books in the public domain that are a part of their collection, which is an incredible resource. We also have the Harvard Digital Scores and Libretti collection, UCL's Sheet Music Consortium. This is actually a great resource because it has many different universities that collaborate for it, and this great tab for digitized sheet music. Indiana University's Variations Prototype. This is a little more limited, but does have it kind of already divided for you between different elements that you may be looking for. The University of Washington's digital collection has a music library. And so starting at these 5, I want to just show you sort of what it's like. We're going to be using La Traviata because it's a very popular opera as a resource search term. So when I search this opera's title, we get 7 hits here, and you can see they're of varying kinds. We get an arrangement, looks like we have an actual score, an engraved score, so that could be useful to investigate whether or not it's a scholarly edition or possibly a reprint, a facsimile. We also have a piano arrangement here. This could be interesting for someone wanting to play Traviata, and a German edition. So on the left, of course, as you've noticed in all catalogs now, there's different ways to sort of look through and filter your hits. Because this is only 7, you can quickly see these and then, of course, click on them to explore the bibliographic records even further. And you have a downloaded PDF right there for you. If I go over to Harvard's library and search La Traviata, again, it's going to have your search limiters on the left or filters. And there's only 1 hit. And it looks like it is some sort of, it's a Ricordi 1855. So this is going to be some sort of original. We'd have to go in further to investigate in what version. Okay, so it's not an original, but it is a second version. And anytime that you are in one of these digital libraries, you can kind of discern how you enjoy it based upon the ease of the integrated program. This is a great setup here where you can easily see you have all sorts of ways of making it bigger, of kind of flipping through the pages, clear scans. You can zoom in to see things better. And you have this running left side contents that is very helpful when looking at scores online. We'll pop over to the Sheet Music Consortium now and search La Traviata. I'm making sure that I have digitized sheet music selected, because if I don't, let's do that first, it's just going to search the entire catalog, and that's 9,000 hits. Obviously, we want more of a filter than that, so we'll click digitize so that it's something we'll be able to see and view online. And here, I really like Sheet Music Consortium because it has 52 hits, quite a bit more. We had 1 over here at Harvard, 7 on the Eastman site. Here we have 52. Now, of course, these are going to be varying arrangements, different types of scores, possibly pieces pulled out, could be monographs or books, since we didn't specifically say that we wanted a score. But it does give us a variety of hits that we could look through and explore for that opera. So this is a great one that's a little more far-reaching. On the flip side, the Variations by Indiana is, as it says, an experimental prototype, and it's a lot more limited. You can see opera literature, song literature, orchestral, choral, chamber music. This may be one that's very useful to the choir directors out there. Piano, chamber music. So very rooted in the classical tradition, of course. Not all of our sources will be that way, thankfully, but this one in particular, as a more limited source, is. Since for the purpose of this, I'm just looking at La Traviata, I'll click on opera literature, and you'll see that the way they, instead of having some sort of search bar, as we do in most catalogs, this has been specified by what is in the collection already. So I can just do like a control F and type La Traviata and see if it shows up. No, so let's do Verdi. And is it here? There it is. So it just didn't have the la in it. And it also took into capitalization. This shows you the issues with research terms and sometimes using multiple ways of describing what you're searching for. So we can have we can view the record or look at it in a scrollable version, and I actually think this one is fantastic. It's a little larger of a viewer than the Harvard program, and it has a great set of, you can go straight to different parts right over here. It's linked to that area, and it's clear. You have the options of zooming in and out, of scrolling through or flipping. Very user-friendly. Now, the last version that is specific, that I know that is specifically tied to a university and in public domain and available without subscriptions to that university's library catalog, is the University of Washington's digital collection, specifically their music library. But they do sort of make a preface or a caveat at the beginning that these manuscripts date from the 17th through the 19th centuries. So if that is not your area of research, this may not be as useful to you, but if you are searching for something from the 17th to 19th centuries, it's great to check on here because it looks like it's very scholarly and has many original manuscripts available through digitization, which, as I've said before, is a new area and exploration in the research world. Now, of course, you probably have run into these before in your undergrad work, IMSLP, the Petrucci Music Library, and the CPDL, the Free Choral Music. The IMSLP is incredible, anything 1920, 23, and before, so anything in public domain will be available to you. This is great because it's far-reaching and is going through all types of music. It shows you here how far-reaching it is in terms of history and available scores outside of copyright laws. The choral public domain is useful. I know that I'm searching an opera here, but it's going to pull out the chorus inside of the opera, and you can go see when they give you the bibliographic record here. It gives you some nice information about voicing, number of voices, a bit of a description, and a translation. And this occurs in most of the choral pieces you'll be looking up. Sometimes there's also links if there are available scores online. So this can be great for choral directors. Now, when it's time to start talking about audio, obviously many of us just go to iTunes or Spotify. These are great streaming services that are a little more reliable and over YouTube. On YouTube, there's a lot less authority, and sometimes you don't know where the recording is coming from, though still a great resource. We'll look at that with videos. It's better to go to somewhere where you know the recording has been mastered and that the are a very high caliber. So Spotify is a great free option. iTunes, often with Apple Music, you have to pay. I do subscribe to that, but I also love Spotify. It's great for creating playlists, and you can actually collaborate on playlists with other people as well for study guides. So you'll notice over here in my playlist, like I do things for my recitals so I can have it on shuffle when I'm driving, when I'm performing recitals. Different classes or exams have playlists set up for them, different projects, or some of the playlists my friends and I have collaborated on: Hipster Baroque, Mad Medieval, Hot Renaissance. These are the kind of cool people I hang out with. Anyways, you can search and find great resources, sometimes better than iTunes, actually, and all sorts of people, artists. You can search the composer or the title, or follow along. I just have the free version. You can download an app onto your computer. You can also upgrade, and this allows you to access it more readily on your phone, but that is up to you on if you want to pay for a subscription of that. I just use the free version and it works great for me. Another option that now as a UCO student you have, if you go to the UCO library and go to the music research guide, you have, of course, the Get Started tab that we used in the beginning just for some real quick database references. Over here on the left, though, you can go to databases by subject or video music streaming. That's what we're going to be located right now. Now, first it has the video option, so we'll scroll down to the Naxos Music Library. Naxos is known as being the #1 place for recordings of high quality, I should say. So music tracks and albums, opera synopses and libretti, composers and artist biographies, and so on and so forth. You can create playlists in here, and you can rest assured that the authority of this source is of the utmost high quality. Oh yeah, and look, they have a new setup and everything. That's great. So Naxos, great resource to you when you are a UCO student. It is a subscription based. I would always check with this. You have things like DECA and whatnot giving you high quality resources for listening here. So that's on the audio side of things. Spotify, Naxos, those are my #1 options. Now, if we go to videography, let's go back to here. We have places like Naxos Video Library. Again, this is a subscription based. The three I'm going to show you right now are subscription based. The one, of course, that's not subscription based is YouTube. Again, an awesome resource, vast and ever reaching. That being said, now as a UCO student and researcher, you do have some high quality resources that you subscribe to through the UCO library. So we have Naxos Video Library, we have Medici TV, and Quest TV. These will all serve you in different ways. If we click on Naxos Video Library here, you can go into search through just the tabs up here, all sorts of competitions, concerts, different genres, documentaries, educational, feature films. Many of these could be awesome to be used in your classrooms at school. You can go through different labels, composers, artists, so on and so forth. If we go up to Medici TV, I love Medici TV. Very user-friendly. I use it all the time. And again, it's going to have your tabs up here, documentaries, master classes. That's the one I really enjoy using through Medici. Oh, thank you. Just the utmost highest quality on here. And this is international. So you'll receive a wide variety of information at your fingertips here through Medici TV. Sorry, we're on Medici right now. Really high videography quality as well. So super entertaining, really fun to watch, and high quality resource. Quest is a new one to me. It is dedicated to jazz and global ethnographic or ethnomusicological explorations. So when we're on Quest, you'll see that there are more focus on jazz, trip to Africa, world music, popular music crossovers here. A great resource if you are wanting something in these genres. Again, really high quality documentaries and concerts available at your fingertips. For the last thing I want to talk about today are sort of what I would deem the other. These are archives and library categories that are going to give you multiple types of resources. Now, the archive.org is 100% interdisciplinary. It's not specific to musicians, but it is a place that I often will go because it does have such a far reach. There are over 439 billion websites that it sort of parses through for you. Access to 25 million texts, 5.8 million videos, and you can read so on and so forth. So you have to be a little careful when you are searching on here because it is so far reaching. Having filters in place is really important. What I usually do is just do my quick search. So say we're searching Traviata again, but instead of having metadata, I would want to have text contents. And this is going to give me more access to scores, monographs, books, articles. Sorry, it looks like my internet is being slow, so you may skip ahead right now. There we go. And we have 27,000 hits, so that's insanely a lot, but you can just scroll through here and see, it looks like we have an access to a score, monograph, illustrated reference book, that's interesting. Opera companies, that would be more far-reaching. Looks like this may be an entry inside of there. Newspaper clippings, some recordings. So this is a really nice resource when you're first starting out on a topic because it is going to sort of give you lots of resource types intersecting. So many options there. You could also do archived websites. You just want to make sure that you use the evaluating websites tab. I have that tabbed for myself, and I have the Turabian quick guides tabbed as well. So if I'm ever wanting to access those quickly to remember what things I need to be thinking of. This will give you blogs, different places that Traviata is happening, or where people have written about it. Blogs can be a great resource. You just have to be careful to investigate the authority of the writer. So that's archive.org. I found a lot of digitized scores through here that I couldn't find anywhere else. If I go back and I click on, say I want to know where this score lives. The nice thing about this archive, because it is far-reaching, it has an incredible integrated way of viewing the score. Really, really responsive. You can zoom in. Clarity of the scan is utmost quality. And then if you scroll down on the page, it gives you an extensive bibliographic record. So we see that this is sponsored by Brigham Young University, which we see a lot, honestly. And it looks like it probably is housed in their collection as well. So, and some download options if you want access to it outside of just seeing it in the program. Now, the other two I want to quickly go to is the British Library and the Library of Congress. Again, these are two sources that are far-reaching, and they do have sort of an interdisciplinary aspect to them. They're not music specific. However, you can use them for music specific Finds. So in the British Library, when you go up to the catalogs tab, we already, when you did the iconography, looked at the illuminated manuscripts here. Also, the archives and manuscripts can be useful if you're looking for facsimiles. When you go to collections and come down to music, that's where it will take you, and this was taking a bit to load the other day, so I just put a tab right here. That will take you to what they have available in digitized versions. This can be a great place to explore manuscripts, published music, and so on and so forth. I believe, though, that the music recordings are only available to the British, so if you're in the UK. The other option is the Library of Congress, so an American resource. Therefore, it definitely does have a bias of American um, musicians and findings and buildings and everything Americana. But if you do have an American-based um, topic, this can be very beneficial for you. Has great filters to refine on the left here. You definitely want digital collections so you know what you have access to and available online to be a part of your refinement. Then you can go even further. Right now we have 420 hits, but if we want to go to the performing arts and see what's available to us in this collection, we can do that. And then it gives you different collections. Maybe you want to see what song sheets from American Singing. For those of you that are Kodály based and enjoy folk music in your elementary classrooms, this could be a great resource for you to get a little bit more into the meat of folk song in America. So a little more limited, not quite as far reaching, but awesome resources for American investigations. And with that, happy online researching.